Hey guys, hello. Let's get this going. Hello. Let's get this going. Hello. Cool. That works. Cool. That works. Good there. All right, guys. Let me get set up here. Just put something on so you guys will be entertained while I just get set up. Actually, we'll do it here. So I can get the levels be the way I like them. What's up, dudes? What's up, dudes? Sorry, I was just posting up some stuff and I figured I'd just leave some music on. So, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out today. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing today? Please tell me. All right. Hi to Belgium. There we go. All right. Decent 8 pizza for the first time in 2 months. Hell yeah. Look at that. Can you do a quick signal chain before you start samshing my head with ifs? I need to be smart before going dumb. You might have me beat there, pal. Sorry, I shouldn't make fun of that. Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this. Just to, let's see. I'm trying to do this without blocking the amps, but, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I know you guys were asking about these amps. I did that live stream with the GoPro on my head, but now we are going, it's off camera because I only have so many angles so far. But I've got this Boss Waza reactive load box, and I'm running into GGD Zilla, the update 1.1, which we just released, so that I can change that if necessary. I do like this setting, to be honest, like this oversized angle 412. It's like built like kind of like a Mesa 412, vintage 30, Fatboy 212. We've got the cream back there. This sort of setup. I don't know if you guys can see that, but hopefully you can. But right now we're going into the Omega. One thing is I don't have a tuner with this particular setup right now. It's a bit of an oversight, so I'm just going to be doing that by ear and hoping it's good enough. And we are using my Jackson Master-Built Custom Shop SIG because I'm just horribly addicted to this guitar. It's just a very, very musical guitar. So, yeah, this is a little bit different. We are... Why does it say a hype train incoming, Twitch? What does that mean? I'm very excited. Oh, you have a limited time to earn exclusive emotes. Oh, and we've got Matt in here, and we've got Finesse Greg, or Fitness Greg, as we all like to call him. Aside from watching America burn itself down, pretty good. Yeah, well, you know. Hopefully this can be a welcome distraction for you guys. So, yeah, these as, you know, for those of you who don't know, obviously the PV Invective on the bottom there is my collaboration, signature, whatever you want to call it with PV. Very, very happy with that amp. It's basically like a modern hot-rodded 5150 that has everything that you'd ever want on it, kind of updated to be a good modern amp, but that's the vibe. The Dover is, I bought these two amps. I wasn't given either of these. I actually like went and bought them after NAMM because I was just so blown away. The Dover does this really just probably the perfect take on a hot-rodded British amp. And the Omega is very interesting. I keep describing it as like sort of a modern SLO / Recto vibe. So this is it here, kind of raw. And it's kind of raw, has a lot of like, you know, body to it, but as a result, Mesas always play very well with precision drives. I think they just have a lot of low end that can be tamed, but then it just reacts. It changes a lot, but for the better. And I feel like this amp is reacting in a very similar fashion. So without it, oops, and with it. Yeah, lots of fun. So, you know, that's a kind of vibe on that bad boy there. And again, we're using the Zilla 1.1. Another one I always like to go for is the Swedish Technique. If we start messing with this stuff. See someone saying best monitors in my opinion. I am huge fans of my Amphions, the Amphion 218s. Since I got those, I really have just not cared about monitors anymore. Is there any way to bypass the MSDI caption in the Invective? Yeah, I believe so. I don't see why not. I think there is like actually a bypass button on the back. So yeah. But you know what? One thing I like to do with this is I do like to add a K100 because it's got this kind of scooped quality, which is pretty cool. Lose a little bit of this, maybe. Go for that. Actually sounds pretty fantastic. So I see someone saying, hey Misha, when's the Zilla cab loader version that fixes Cubase export bug going to be released? You're having trouble still with the 1.1? The one that we just released? If so, we're going to take a look at that, but I have not experienced that. So, someone's asking, can you turn all 3 hours and export into one cab to load it into the Aspx 3? Yeah, as far as I know, the Aspx 3 will let you import WAV files. I believe you can. I haven't actually done that yet, but last time someone asked this, someone did say that you can. So I believe you can. Yeah, type 1 in the chat if you want to watch Matt stream some drums, because I think that's a really good call. Do you still use your 2-note studio, or does the Boss replace it? The Boss has replaced it. What I do use the 2-notes for is for reamping. I like it as a reamp box. So we have a lot of ones, meaning that Matt has to now stream some drums. I would love to see that as well. I feel like that needs to happen. Have I tried Granulate 2 by Fracture Sounds? No, I have not. I probably should. There's a lot of things I haven't tried. But yeah, are there any things that you'd like to see with this amp, you know? Like, so I'll show you, like, there's 2 gain modes here, right? So this is the high gain mode. The low gain mode has a little bit less top end, but it actually works great with the precision drive. I'll show you without it first, you know? So... put that on. You bring that down, the gain down, you get this super tight, like super crunchy. But I like a little bit of saturation in my tone, so I will put it on high and actually bring the gain up, just so I can get there. But what I do like is how you are still retaining that tightness on the way in, like, you know, you still get that sound. Oh, the full-size Invective does not have it. Oh, sorry. Yeah. But, you know, in any case, just so you know about the MSDI, that's really meant for live use. Like, I wouldn't take that and put a cab sim on that, because it's just the preamp. So you're not really getting the full sound of the amp. I would run the amp into a load box like I'm about to do, which is why I have all 3 of these set up here. There's not a ton of controls. This is a single channel amp, right? So you've got this top voice and lower voice here. So that lower one seems to have a little bit more mids, like low mids in there. It's a little less scooped. And then this is more aggressive, in my opinion. Someone's asking, when will you increase production to make your SIGs more accessible? Well, right now, production is kind of a tough thing. Like I know the USA Corona factory is like on a skeleton crew at like 20 or 30% production. And that's for everything, including like Fender and all the other brands. So we are definitely, we're feeling that right now. Hopefully that will recover relatively soon. But, it's hard to predict what's going to happen there, unfortunately. Let's see. Yeah, COVID-19 might need to slow down first. That's definitely a big problem right now. I think anything that's got to do with production, fulfillment, anything logistical really is just going to be tough right now because it requires people. And a lot of people can't work, whether it's restrictions or safety or whatever. At best, you're at some sort of skeleton capacity, and that's affecting production. So the other thing I had going here is I had pedals off to the side here. Echo going into Strymon Volante going into a Maris Mercury 7, so it's a lot of ambience. Maybe a little too much, but who cares, right? Sounds pretty damn sick. I don't have my DAW open, so we can't really do post effects like that. That's a pretty sick amp sound, I think, right? You got some control on like the depth and bass, if you really want to get that low end in there. Might be a bit much, right? A little detail, just like presence. You do want to not go crazy with that, now I'm playing with that. That actually kind of reminds me a little bit of like a traditional 5150 control where like not a whole lot is happening here, and then that's what really starts coming to play up there. The EQ is pretty powerful. The bass, I'll get low end out of it like that. Running it pretty high because when you run a boost, I always like to run that a little bit higher because you can feed more low end since you're kind of taking it out up front. It actually works out really well that way. Mid control is pretty powerful too. That reminds me a bit more of like a Mesa mid control where it's almost like a high mid control. It's not as drastic as a Mesa because the trick with those old school Mesa Rectos were like you would take the treble all the way down and mids all the way up, and the mid would kind of turn into like a treble control. This doesn't have as extreme a thing, but it has a little bit of that going on. You obviously could scoop it, but we lose a little bit of the aggression there, so I don't want to do that. the treble. This is where I would sort of dial it probably up a little bit for recording, reamping, stuff like that. You've always found your dual rec to be very trebly. So dual recs have this stuff I'd call fizz or whatever. Like it's kind of always over the top. There's ways to dial it out. And actually that treble trick where you take the treble all the way down and use the mid as a treble control will kind of keep that under control. Also, the different modes. I feel like the modern modes are more susceptible to them. The vintage modes kind of tame that a little bit. But yeah, they absolutely can... They can absolutely get out of control. You have to kind of know how to dial in recto, especially older rectos, like the ones I have. They're very, very finicky amps. But when you get them dialed in, and especially with a boost in front of them, like I love the precision drive because you can really use it as part of how to dial in how much low end it's got and whatever. You know, that's something where you have to take a little bit of time to dial this in. This is a lot more straightforward, and it's a much more modern, sort of reasonable sounding amp. But for jamming around, I generally tend to go for like slightly less bright tones because you don't want to blow your ears out unnecessarily, right? Am I wearing a Tudor right now? No, you know, I kind of want a Black Bay 58. I'm rocking the Daytona for the stream. I don't know if we can see. Can we see? Whatever. You know. Just been wearing this one a lot. It's a very comfortable watch. Any chance of ever doing a signature line for your custom strat? So we're doing a limited release of like these master built custom shop ones. If they do well, I mean the original plan was if they did well, like to kind of move into production or talk about that. Right now there's no talks about anything because everything's just stopped. I think everyone's just focused on just trying to get everything back and up and running first before we discuss future plans. So that's probably been pushed back a little bit, unfortunately. But knock on wood, fingers crossed. Hopefully. Can I say yet as to how limited? It was basically just for the stores that ordered them. I think we had about 20 to 25 orders. I'm not really sure. So those stores will have them. I don't know if those stores like pre-sold them or what the deal is. I don't know which stores got them. But yeah, there's going to be about 20 to 25 in existence, and that's going to be it. So they're expensive guitars, and they'll likely hold value well because of that. So am I using a load box with the Zillion amp? Yes, I'm using the Boss Waza tube amp expander, which I'm a very big fan of, because you can adjust the reactive load like we're kind of watching off there. It's off camera. So, actually, I like that a little better. Just up the resonance impedance to high mid. I don't really, I know there's a way to dial that stuff in. I'm just doing it by ear, whatever sounds better. Would I consider a VF supercharger kit for the Performante? That's a good question. It's a very good question. It's a really cool kit. It's reliable, and I have friends who have put it in their car and put serious miles on it. Of the ways to add forced induction to that car, even though it's probably the most conservative as far as like horsepower and torque goes, probably the most reliable, the most daily, the most sort of OEM feeling out of all of them. But it is pricey, and it's like, you know, I don't know. My car's always so quick that I'm like, I don't know if more faster is necessary. I don't know. I'm definitely considering it more now that I've driven one and I got to drive it hard. But on twisties, you don't always get to completely take advantage of that, because maybe on like corner exit you'll get to feel it a little bit. But you know, on the straights you're already going so fast, like you'll probably see the numbers going up higher, but it doesn't necessarily feel that much different, you know, because it's not like an order of magnitude faster. And yes, sorry, we're talking about cars now. This is going to be It's gonna be bad. We're gonna stop talking about amps. What's a possibility that Misha Periphery say hide all Brazilian on that stream? Well, first off, I'm gonna say good health to all Brazilians, and of course that word is obrigado. So you see, I do speak your language. So obrigado, hello to all of you, and thanks for watching. And it's crazy that you have all of Brazil with you. That's a lot of people, but I appreciate you watching. Oh, and now I can hear it when people actually donate. That's sick, so I can get right to it. Sick Boy is here, donated. Said, hey, just want to say Periphery's music has inspired me so much going on 10 years now. You, Matt, Mark, and Jake have helped me. Where's Spencer? Spencer's not in this? Oh, damn. Have helped me through depression and anxiety more than my meds ever could, and I personally want to thank you. Oh, that's very sweet. Howdy yeehaw from a fellow Texan. My man, yes, that's awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you for the donation. Poor Spencer. Poor guy. Rip Spencer. All right, everybody, you know what to do. F for Spencer. Oops. F for me. But F for Spencer. Which amp do I prefer? EVH 5153 or Randall Diablo? I haven't tried the Randall Diablo, so. Okay. So, you guys want to check out the Dover next? Shall we move to that? You have this sound sort of internalized so we can get a nice little comparison going. Oh. I always want to play that and I haven't practiced it. All right, good enough. Let's. This is what takes forever. Is we're gonna have to switch to this amp. Just bear with me for 1 second. All right. So, switching to this one. Let's start with the. And this is lower gain. There is a 50 watt mode. We'll switch to that on the load box. I don't know if it makes a big difference, but let's find out. All right, so both of these are similar in the way that they're just like, I mean, this one is technically 2 channels, but really it's just one. You're not getting a clean. And gain 1 and gain 2 are very similar. I'd say it's almost like rhythm and lead maybe, but you're not getting a clean with either of these ones. Turn the volume up on this. So very different characteristic right off the bat, right? And that typical British top end, right? Misha, Periphery. All right, this is just a dude. Lackery24 is asking, how much for you to crush my nads? More than you can afford, baby girl. What's my guitar pick of choice? Actually, it's this like prototype thing that I'm working on with Dunlop right now. I don't know if you can see these. They're not labeled as of yet. We're still refining it. But I've been using these since the one thing I haven't done is tested them live, and that's such an important thing for me. I was using the Jazz Flows. I really like those, but they just wear down so fast. So I wanted to see if I could get something that was kind of similar shape, but that was just a lot more durable. And these are a lot more durable. Just don't know how I'll get along with them live, and that's a very important thing. But we're working on it. All right, so obviously very little gain on this right now. Then you have a boost. Then you got gain 2, which we will. And then the boost. Now this does not have a master volume, unlike the Omega. But it does have those 2 channels. So I mean, they're slightly different features, but I think they're both pretty wonderful. Now this is one of those ones that you arguably wouldn't necessarily need a boost in front of it. Because British amps always have that tight, like, sort of front. I don't really know how to describe it, but it just sounds like a lot of the top end of your guitar is hitting the preamp really hard. So sort of tracking that first, you know? Oh, and I see we've got another question here. Oh, a very generous donation from Isahu Space. Adding to the VF Supercharger fund, even though I still think you should get a 720S instead. Oh, all right. Said the Daytona was your Grail watch. Now that you have one, do you have a new Grail, considering any of the more micro brands like H. Moser, Groundfield? So I know H. Moser, I don't know Groundfield. I would say yes. As far as the Grails go there, man, I would love a Langanzona Zeitwerk, or like my business partner Maytab just got a Zeitwerk, and it's insane, or a Datograph, or if I was really, you know, doing well, but this is like a real Grail, is the perpetual Datograph. That thing is nuts, and it's just like one of the most beautifully engineered. It's just artwork. It's artwork that tells time, and the case back on that is just unreal. So yeah, that would be like absolute goals. A probably more attainable one. Like I really like those. I really like those very basic AP Royal Oaks. I don't know the reference numbers. I don't know APs that well, but Matt Farah had one, and he let me try it on, and he actually ended up buying that one for himself. And I was like, man, that's a great watch. It was just very simple, just a date, just the date window. That one would be really cool. And like, I really want a Grand Seiko. I mean, that's not like a Grail, but that's just something I really want. I just need to find one that I get along with, because I love the concept of Grand Seiko, and that's more like a watch for myself. Like, it's not a flex watch at all, but it's just a beautiful piece of art. But yeah, the actual Grail would probably be the Lang, some sort of Lang. I think those are just incredible. And if, you know, talking about that level of money, like I would get that over, like, you know, you can get a Nautilus for as much, and that to me is crazy, you know. Definitely get the Lang. Anyways, what did it take for me to get a Jackson sponsorship? Like, when did you get endorsed by them? What do you have to do to get it? Okay, so you know what? this is a very good question. I get this every now and then. And I'll talk about this, and then I'm going to go back to a quick thing that is Sahu Space said, because I want to talk about cars some more. But so when it comes to endorsement, guys, like I see this a lot, and I feel like probably half of you guys know this, but probably a lot of you don't. You have to think of endorsements as business transactions. It's not charity, and it sure as hell isn't charity for talent. Because one of the biggest comments I see is people being like, that guy's so good at guitar. How is he not endorsed? How does he not have a signature model? That doesn't matter at all. You're in, like, a signature model is a business transaction because the company believes, oh, if we give this dude a signature model, we can then go and sell that signature model and beat our profits from last quarter. Right? That's really what it comes down to. So it has to be this mutually beneficial agreement where whether you're getting a signature model or free guitars or whatever it is, or guitars at cost, discount, it has to balance out. They're like, okay, we'll give this guy a discount, we'll give him free guitars, but we believe that by doing that, he's going to generate enough sales to more than cover that up. And in exchange, now he doesn't have to pay for guitars just by representing us. And, you know, the idea is, like, for a good deal, the reward is sort of in line with what you're putting in, right? So if you have more influence, and if you have, let's say, influence with people who tend to buy what you play, like what I did and what the guys in our band did, companies looked at us and they're like, oh, it seems like whatever the Periphery guys are playing, like, people are buying. So they'll come to us saying, like, how would you like a signature model? This is the real key. It's like, if you're really, really in a position to where you should be endorsed, you shouldn't have to chase up companies. You should have your pick of the litter, and you'll be like, who should I go with? Who's offering me the best deal? And you can actually, you know, Mark got a PRS deal, for example, and PRS are very difficult with their deals, but Mark got such a good deal with them because he had so many companies chasing after him, and he was able to sort of, you know, pick and choose, and then eventually, like, you know, he wanted PRS, but they weren't giving him the deal he wanted, and he got to be like, okay, well, if you do this, then I'll sign with you. And they saw it as a commodity. So that's kind of how you need to see this thing. So we identified, look, whether we're deserving of it or not, you know, I think we're just lucky in that field. You know, we may not have been the kind of band to sell a lot of merch or anything like that, but for whatever reason, people seem to like whatever gear we were using and seem to trust us there. Companies identified that and they wanted to associate with us. And generally speaking, that worked out really well for them. Like, any company that would give us free gear or guitars, whatever, would generally tend to sell a lot of that. So they were very happy to keep that relationship going. And that eventually evolved into signature deals and so on and so forth. So again, that's probably something that a lot of you guys are already aware of, but I do see enough questions about it to where I feel like I should give a relatively thorough answer there, right? Hopefully that answers that. Definitely look up Gronfeld if I've never seen them before. Absolutely, I will. Gronfield. You know, I'm gonna do it right now. Gronfield. What's a good watch to look up? Oh yeah, these are ridiculous. And just looking at the case back, I know I can't afford these right now. Yeah, because this, and was that Tourbillon in this one? No dot today. I could do this again with a DAW. I thought one thing that could be fun at one point is to, like, compare the Omega amp to the Sim. Which I'd have to do in a DAW. But it's kind of nice to have the freedom of just being able to, like, look at stuff and play stuff through my computer and, like, you know, just display what I want to display to you guys. We're trying a whole bunch of different stuff out for you guys, you know? Do you guys make money off the sale of signatures, any sort of royalties? Absolutely. That's kind of the point of a signature deal, is, like, you know, it's at a point where, like, you playing the instrument and putting it out benefits you. And, you know, what that is depends on the company and the deal and everything. So it really just depends from company to company. What do you think about Jason Richardson? He's insanely talented. I've known that kid since he was like 15 or 16, and he's always been like an absolute monster of a player. He's a good kid. An insane guitarist. Like, frustratingly insane guitarist, right? Is GGD Zilla standalone? Yes, you are looking at the standalone version right now because I'm not in a DAW. All right, back to guitars. So actually, I haven't tried this, so I'm gonna react with you guys because I've never tried the precision drive in front of this amp. I'm trying on the lowest gain setting, right? I need more gain than that. Yeah. Put the boost on the amp. Put the gain back a little bit. Oh. Yes. Didn't think it needed a boost, but holy shit. Now we're gonna go back to that attack position. Bring some more depth. Oh, that's ridiculous. Double boost is what's up. So I'm not sure what kind of boost this is, but I don't think it's like a Tube Screamer style boost like what this one is. You know, I think it's just like maybe another gain stage if I had to guess, just based off how it sounds. What guitar was that blue one the other day? Yeah, it was my Pro Series Sig with an Evertune and Ragnarok's in it. I have it over there, but I just really feel like playing this guitar right now. I love this. Love this guitar. This is gain 1. Let's try gain 2 now. See where that puts us. See, these channels are like very similar. They have slightly different characteristics. Like if we set this exactly, let's set these exactly the same, right? Slightly, but it's almost barely noticeable. You get slightly more saturation with gain 2 versus gain 1. Actually, I think for like the more genty kind of Meshuggah-ish, like, because they always do have that kind of like hot rodded Marshall thing going on, you know? One thing with load boxes is you can also affect how it sounds by running the master higher and then the line out lower. So you can crank the master into this. That's too much. I don't like the character of that. It's actually seems to be the sweet spot there. Now, one thing with these amps is that they tend to be a lot less saturated. But they don't have that low mid saturation, right? You guys could probably hear that. So this is actually where on the precision drive I probably would turn the drive up a little bit. You can compensate for that a little bit. That's sounding pretty damn good. Yeah, so that's actually really cool. I haven't tried that before. Just getting that sort of dialed in the way I like. It's a reactive load, and it actually lets you sort of adjust how it's reacting to the low end and the high end, the impedance. So I really like it's that Boss Waza tube amp expander. Very big fan of that. All right, let's see what I missed because I haven't been paying attention. Oh, and also, dude was saying to get 720S instead. 720S, I haven't really gotten a chance to push that car yet. I would love to. I would love to get a chance to actually drive that car hard, but dynamically, it had such a beautiful chassis. Like, really, really well balanced, predictable. It feels, it felt kind of like a super, super powerful version of my Cayman, which I love, Very, very confidence inspiring. It's well set up. Driving positions in McLarens are, it's just the ultimate driving position. They do this thing where they dip the windshield down. So you actually can see down, like kind of right in front of you, and you can see the arch of the wheel. Like, I think it would probably be easier to place a McLaren over any other car, and like Porsche and Lamborghini like have very good driving positions, but man, like that cabin, I don't know, I was really impressed. But McLaren just have a few hurdles to get over because they effectively end up, even if it's the same price, they effectively end up being the most expensive cars. Combination of they're super expensive to insure, they depreciate crazier than anything else in their class, and the consumables and all that are like double to triple the price of anything else. So your effective running costs end up being a lot more, even if you're paying the same amount up front, because it'll cost more to run it, and when you trade it in or whatever, you'll get less for that than anything else. And Porsche is probably the best about that, especially with like the GT series. Ironically, the dot ones are better than the dot twos, but we don't need to get into that. We're not talking about cars today. Anyways, sorry, I'll get carried away if I don't help myself. So, do companies chase you with pitchforks when you show up play other guitars, like Mark playing mine in the P4 documentary, etc.? It's a stretch, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised. So it really just matters on the company and their attitude. Jackson is very lax about that. Like they're fine with me having a collection. It's one of those things where they just kind of put it on me. Like John Romanowski, my product designer there, he's always been like, like you can play whatever you want. He's like, obviously, like your guitar is a specific guitar. Sometimes you might need another guitar. Do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, don't forget, like if you play more of your guitar, you're going to sell more of your guitar and you're going to make more money. So he's just kind of like leaving it in my hands. That's good because it means like they totally respect my collection. They've never once given me crap about it or about playing other guitars. They would never give me crap about playing another guitar live. They would just say like, hey, it's probably beneficial for you and for us both if you're mostly playing your signature. But it's just been a complete non-issue. Like I've just never had any trouble and they've never given me crap, and the guitar's done well, so I don't think they have any reason to complain. Now, there are other companies that are a lot more strict about that, but it's one of the reasons why I like Jackson and why I wanted to work with them, because they were very sort of reasonable, easygoing people. How much of that cleanliness and distortion comes from the amp? How much comes from the pedal? I've been struggling with finding Very clean, defined, distorted sound. So I don't know what you mean by cleanliness, but you know, the precision drive does tighten up the sound a lot. That is the purpose of it, right? So this little pedal right here, you can hear without it. What's up, Jay? How you doing, man? Without it, it'll be like. So maybe that answers that, but the precision drive was literally designed to kind of give you that tightness. How are you doing, Jay? Thanks. Yeah, go follow Jay if you haven't already. It says Fitness Greg. He's the drummer for Tesseract. He's a really sweet dude, hella talented. He's also technically a Texan. Fitness Greg mods both of our Twitches, so he's a sweet guy. Just good company all around. Let's see. Fitness Greg is the drummer from Tesseract. Sure, why not? Why not? So yeah, that's kind of the vibe on the Dover. I'd say it's probably got like slightly less range of sound. It's a very just focused amp, but I really like what it does. I feel like in the Brit world, it is sort of the tightest and the cleanest version of that sound. I own a lot, and I've owned a lot of those, and this is one that blew me away to where I was like, I need to own this because I think it does a great job. Shall we move on to the Invective now? Here, I'll put some music on while let's put something on for you guys so that you can have something to listen to while I do this. What should I put on? What should I put on for you guys? Let's go with this one. This one might be a solo album track. Though the mix needs to. There's a couple things I need to tweak. Just demos. Have I listened to Loathe? Yes, and I really like that album, that latest one. What will I see eventually? If I missed your question, just post it again. It's hard to keep up with everything. I need to apply to be a Twitch partner. I already did. I'm just waiting to hear back. Thinking about getting Invective Mini. How would my Fractal FM3 pair with the Mini Sig? I haven't tried the FM3, but I imagine it would pair very well. The AXFX 2 pairs well with the full-size head, so stand to reason that that would pair well. If I tried any of the Neural DSP plugins, I have all of them. The Nolly one is incredible and probably the most versatile of the bunch, but I love the Omega one. All right, let's see. Can I move that? How's the solo album coming along? I'm chipping away at it. It's gonna be out probably later this year, but just working on. I think I have my track list together. Now I have to I have stuff to re-record, stuff to mix. You know, each song's at a different stage. I think I've narrowed down 9 songs I want to put on it. Maybe 10, but I think I'm into like these shorter albums. I think 9 songs is probably the way to go. All right, let's see where we are at here. Actually, this one we have a boost and a gate built into it. That's a crunch, but if you add the gate and the boost. Get a lot of low end with this one, which I do love. And then if you want this one has the most sounds out of everything. So you've also got the lead channel, which is just a more aggressive version of that, basically, with way more gain. So we run the gain a lot lower. Am I running into a cab sim? So you see that thing on the page that says GGD Zilla? That is the cab sim right there. Jeff Santa donated. What's up, dude? It's good to see you again. Thanks for the donation. He says, sup, my dude. Just curious if you guys multiple amp settings for guitar rhythm tracks on your albums. I know some people swear by one rhythm sound with one guitar, while others use a ton of guitar amp combos throughout an album. Yeah, it'll change, man. And sometimes we'll blend stuff. It really just depends on the it just depends on what we're trying to achieve, and we'll experiment with stuff. The reason that I do stuff this way, where I'll have like the like obviously not in the DAW right now, but I'll actually capture the not only a DI but also just the AXFX sound without a cab, so I can change the cab on the fly. And sometimes all you need to do is just change the cab on like 2 other tracks and it'll sit better. It's nice to be able to change that, automate that, whatever. So yeah, absolutely. It really depends on the vibe you want. If you want kind of a raw vibe, then yeah, you probably want the same sound all the way through because it sounds more quote unquote live. But we're going for sort of a polished, concept. It's not supposed to sound super live. It's just supposed to sound like a composition. So that's why we'll get very picky about that. 6-string versus 7-string was my favorite to write with. It just depends on the moment. In the moment, like if it's sometimes I'll have a riff and I'll kind of try it out on both and see which one sort of sparks more ideas or which one sounds better. I find that generally with the 6-string it'll be a bit more notey. With the 7-string it'll be a bit more groovy, but then it changes. It's just whatever sort of feels right. If that makes sense. The Strat has a Ragnarok on the bridge, but what single coils are those? So these are actually custom wound bare knuckle pickups. There's a bare knuckle Ragnarok on the bridge because this is a sleeper guitar. This guitar right here is supposed to trick you into thinking that it's a dad rock guitar, but it's actually a shredder. Stainless steel frets, 20-inch radius fretboard, like jumbo frets, Ragnarok bridge. Like this thing, that's why it sounds the way it does. And it plays, it plays like a shredder, but it just looks like a dad rock guitar. But you can actually get those nice like split sounds and single coil sounds because it's here. I'll show you. Like it's got and the clean on this amp is really cool. It's got built-in boost, which I actually really like. Get that nice fourth position going on. I'm not putting that on this whole album, but maybe I should actually try to record that. Actually, on the Invective, this clean with that boost is one of my favorite things to just jam around on. But yeah, going back to heavy sounds. So the boost on the amp is very capable. You obviously get a bit more range with a precision drive. I find it's just a little bit tighter, a little bit more top end. Because you have two gates, it could get like, you can get like super tight since we have both gates on here. When Mark writes a new complicated riff, how pissed do you get at him? No, I mean, it's awesome. Like, what? It's not about complicated. If it sounds good, then we're just stoked that we have a good sounding riff, We have Ray Martini. I've recognized your name too. Thanks for the donation again. Big fan of the P3 and P4 docs as they give insights to the writing process and overall band chemistry. How much of it gets in the way of actually producing a record? Can we expect a P5 documentary? Jeff did those too, and I'd say that dude is super talented at like ninja filming and being out of the way. He's always been good at that. Like a lot of that stuff we didn't even realize he was recording. Sometimes we do realize it. But it doesn't. He actually is not filming for that much of the process, so it rarely actually gets in the way. Let's see if we can do this because how do we do this to where this shows the PV settings? I don't know. We're figuring all this nonsense out. There, maybe. I don't know. That's worse. Whatever. Who cares? It was in focus once, and it's totally overexposed right now. Whatever. Anyways, yeah. P5 documentary? Probably. Absolutely. I don't know. When we work on it, it'll be easier, When things get better, I'd love to see you do another clinic in Riverside, California. I think it's been five years since the last one. Yeah, absolutely. I like doing clinics. I don't like overdoing them. And I don't think that anyone expected us to have a whole COVID situation. So, that does play into it a little bit. But I think once things are sort of back to normal, and in some ways, maybe clinics are something that could happen a little easier than shows because, there's a lot less people that show up to them and they're seated and, it's probably a little bit easier to manage than a show. So it's possible that maybe I'd be doing clinics before shows, but we're in wait and see mode right now, unfortunately. Like that's really just where we're at. And I think once all this stuff becomes available, everyone's going to be kind of jumping on the opportunities, So we'll see. Did you hear COVID situation? No, you heard COVID situation. That's what you heard. What am I using to connect your Invective to computer? So I'm answering this a lot, but maybe not everyone is getting this, or they just joined. So it's the Boss Waza tube amp expander. So that is a load box, which basically means I can plug the full power of my amp into this, get a completely silent signal, which I then take, you know, the audio outs, put that into my interface. And this does have a a cab sim built into it, but I'd rather use our standalone Studio Cabzilla, GGD Studio Cabzilla 1.1, which just came out today, I believe. The update. So this is great. I can change stuff on the fly. Let's mess with V30 Mayhem. That's a fun preset. And actually, this is interesting because this is kind of something that we'll do usually in the studio, is like SM57, maybe an off-axis one. KM184 is a support mic, you know? It's very soft here, but... KM184s sound great. They're very full range. They have this wonderful top end. But if you put that in the mix, you'll be like, this does not work. It's very strange. So we use them as a support mic for like an $80 mic. That's like, I think like the $1,500 mic, the KM184, a Neumann KM184, but yeah. That'll be the main sound. You ease that in. Yeah, so that's what we're using for the signal. Let's see what else we got. How do I pan stereo guitar? So it's either mutes one side or it pans the whole thing, getting a stereo effect. You know, it's I know what you're saying there. It's tricky. Sometimes I'll just pan them and you'll still get the stereo effect, even though they're not. You're still getting enough of a stereo effect. Or I'll like half pan them, you know. It just depends. I'll just kind of do it by ear. There's no real science to that, unfortunately. I have fiddled around with VCV. I'm not great with it, but that's awesome that they have a bridge to integrate into DAW, because that was the one thing. It was like you couldn't do that, but if you can now, that's pretty sick. When does the Invective MH launch? Pre-ordered one ages ago and still no word from Sweetwater. Well, they were supposed to be launching, you know, this year, but COVID. So that's completely screwed everything up there, and I'm really sorry about it. Like, and they were telling me like how they were excited. There was like a ton of pre-orders on that amp. Everybody wanted it. At NAMM, it was something that a lot of dealers were very excited about, and they ordered a bunch. And now we're just waiting to get everything up and running and shipped and everything. So I unfortunately don't know, but everything has stopped pretty much. Everything other than like very, very small shops where they can sort of just do it by themselves, if that makes sense. Can you try the StudioZilla plugin? I think there's a demo for it. I don't know if Matt or Des are in here, but maybe they can, or if anyone knows. Pretty sure like it's there's a demo for it. But just go to the site and download it and find out. And dude, it's like it's really cheap right now because we have a sale where you type in Indoors 33 as your checkout code for 33% off everything in the store. You know, do it on YouTube too. Indoors 33. 33%. So it's like dirt cheap to get it right now. Because we're running that as a sale. It's like quarantine sale. If you guys are all going to be stuck indoors, then you might as well be getting our stuff for a little bit cheaper. But yeah. We have, Jeff Santa again. Oh, and we have a couple others. Sorry, let's get to Harry Choppa first. Thanks for the donation. He said, what would it take to put Striswell and Ultimatum on the solo album? I'd have to finish those ideas. I mean, they may be on an eventual one. I just need to, there's a lot of ideas to work on. And I'm going to be honest, like, a lot of this is like, I want the solo album to be a very pure pursuit for me. I want it to just be things, I don't ever want to feel like I'm working on the solo album because I have to. I want it to be fun. And a lot of the times it's more fun to sort of write something new or develop something new rather than sort of rediscover this old idea. But that's not to say it doesn't happen, you know? And I do like those ideas. I mean, there's a good chance that those could end up on a Periphery album too, or those riffs could. So, you know, it's very, very hard to say. Going to Jeff Santa, who donated. Thank you very much, man. Sorry, me again. Just curious what you feel helped your career the most early on. Like, how did you make the transition from posting SoundClick demos, message board, to having your first album be released with such a following and hype? So the answer there is going to disappoint you a little bit because it's something that just happened. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I was posting on forums. I was posting a lot, and it just got traction. I don't know why. People seem to like it. You know, when I first started posting my music on forums, I almost didn't. I was so afraid to do it because I didn't think it was very good. Like, I was having a lot of fun making music. I have to explain this to people all the time because I don't actually think I'm a very good musician, but I really enjoy it. And if you have a tough time relating to that, well, I love video games. I'm not very good at video games, but I still love playing them. It's the same thing. I'm not very good at music, but I love making music, and I love I just love the process of that. So I was super self-conscious about posting any of this stuff up, and I kind of forced myself to after a while because I was just like, all right, you know, maybe you can just take some of what they say is constructive criticism, or maybe I'll learn something or whatever. I was just like, just get over it and just post it up. But then people seemed to be really positive about it, which I was very pleasantly surprised by. I was not expecting that at all. And because I was writing a lot, it just kind of encouraged me to post more and more stuff. But that's kind of how the hype, if you will, started. That doesn't work anymore. This was like, as all of this was sort of transitioning over from the older model to the newer model, and I guess I just rode that wave, but that was entirely luck, unfortunately. Like, that wasn't any master plan or anything of my doing. And as I say, so much of my success in this industry and in life has come down to luck. I'd say the hard work is a given, and maybe the aspect that I have some control over is just what you do with your lucky circumstances, or, you know, making sure you don't squander your good fortune. But so much of it, unfortunately, is down to luck. So there's not any advice I could give out of that to a fledgling band or project right now, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks. That's a really good question. Willie, the MLG Pro. Oh, are you really an MLG Pro? That's sick. Donated 10. When's the 9-string album with Tosin and Josh Travis? So Tosin actually did a 9-string song, and he did a great job with it. And it's also the reason why I probably will never touch it, because, like, unless I could actually use all 9 strings, and that's a big instrument to wield. Like, I've played it, and I was just like, yeah, like, this is probably where I'm gonna draw the line and be like, you know, even 8 I haven't played that much lately. We've been like talking about doing that for maybe some new Periphery songs, messing around with an 8-string, but it's a bit of a tough one. I don't know. I need to be inspired by it, and I'm just not inspired by the 9-string. If Tosin comes to me with a 9-string idea, then maybe, because I am working on the new Animals with him. You know, Josh Travis is an insane guitarist. So I've never worked with him officially, but yeah, if he wanted to work on something, that could be fun. That could be fun. If he had 9-string stuff, I'd be open to that. Lefty Juggernaut donated. Thank you very much. Says, Lefty Pro model, please. Maybe do a limited run. If they do well, then you could do a full run. I want one so bad. So the problem is just economics there. It's very expensive to tool up for a left-handed run, and the demand is just not there. So I'll never say never, but it's just a very tough thing to justify, because, you know, we can't make money off of a small run. We basically have to think that we can sell a full run to justify just for the tooling cost, just to break even off of that. It's very, very hard to make money with that. So that's why I apologize. Someone has a Lefty Juggernaut. They had to go to the custom shop. I'm sure they spent a lot of money to do that. But yeah, it's unfortunately just something that's very tough to just transition to, or just to try out. You know, especially if you're expecting it to be a cheap, like a pro model, like that would be, they would have to basically tool up there, and that just costs, I think, like in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not like several tens. But yeah, I don't know exactly, but I do know that I've discussed that with them, and they've just said that, yeah, it just does not make sense financially. So I'm sorry, dude. Knock on wood, we do better and better, and then maybe someday it does make sense. When this bullshit is over, you guys have to play Atlantic Canada sometime. Preferably New Brunswick. I'll buy you McDonald's. Well, how can we say no to that? All right? What ethereal force persuaded you to put the lick in the Graveless solo on Juggernaut Omega? I don't know. It just thought it would be hilarious. And I think around that time, I'd just done the Joy of Motion. I didn't do the solos, and Nolly had convinced Tosin to put the lick in, I think, Tooth and Claw. There's one song off Joy of Motion that has the lick. And we're just like, yeah, let's just shove the lick in a few of these songs. And I haven't done it since. Maybe I should bring that back. I'll do my variation, because I have my variation lick. And it's not, I also have the Simon lick, though. But there's like the... You know, like, you add the, like that, like kind of do a more detailed lick. If I do the lick again, I'll do it slightly different, you know? Would I play the Graveless solo by any chance? I haven't played it in forever, so this is a terrible idea because I'm going to butcher it. A really terrible idea. So we're gonna wash it up with a bunch of delay, so that I can hide behind that. Wait, what key is it? That's too much, isn't it? Yeah, let's just. I have not played this since we played it live last, so. What is that? I can't even hear it under all that delay. Don't need so much gating. Can't remember what that is. Yeah. Yeah. I always like extend that on every tour. Just gets longer and longer at the end for no reason. Back on now. Can I teach you how to write? No. That's the one thing I can't teach you. You gotta figure that out for yourself, pal. Yeah, let's see. What are you guys on YouTube saying? I've been paying attention to Twitch. Before we wrap up, we'll see what YouTube is saying. They always have some valuable things to say. Hey Misha, been out of the loop for a bit. What happened to Faith Palmute? Y'all still together? Look at that. Go to YouTube, you get the gold. He's asking about an ex-girlfriend. How dare you? No, we're not still together, but she's still a good friend. I like to be friends with my exes. They're good people, generally speaking. Ollie Sykes fanboy donated $1. Says, I was actually the person that originally ordered the lefty jug. Oh, no way! Really? But it was more than double the price, so I ended up not going through with it, but they still made it and someone else bought. Oh, wow, that's actually crazy. Who got that? Does anyone know who got that? So you ordered it. You ordered it and they started making it and then you backed out? Like, how does that work? Like, did you not get your deposit back? That's so weird that they would start making that. But you see, that's the one case where you could get, because, you know, the custom shop, they're just making one off. But was it orange? Because someone claimed, I think on 7th String, to get that. And then I had to approve that. They don't like to build custom shop juggernauts, and I always have to approve what goes through, you know? But yeah, I'd like to know more about that. I know you're big on recording ideas consistently, though. Do you have any of your own methods of breaking out of a writer's block? Yeah, covering Meshuggah songs. That's why I'm covering Concatenation right now, right? Is there such a thing as a blackface invective? Not officially. We have the only ones, and we use them live. And they have more tone. More vintage NOS, warm vintage tube. Yeah. Kid, he's trying to scam you to subscribe. Who's scamming who? Why are we scamming? Don't scam. That's terrible. All right. So, oh man, we got all these gift subs. Thank you very much. Again, I don't know how this works, but thank you for, I think that's a very good thing, right? Or is that bad? Good or bad? Let me know. Let me know if good things or bad things are happening, because I can't tell anymore. All right, if Fitness Greg is happy about it, then we're probably good. All right. Thanks, Kit Boga, for all the gifted subs. Who's scamming? What's going on here? Yeah, I'm completely clueless to what... I still don't understand how any of this stuff works, man. Oh, you call scammers? Oh, I've seen some YouTube things of that. Have I seen your YouTube? If I look on YouTube, will I find your... If I YouTube Kit Boga? Oh, I've definitely seen your stuff. Your stuff rules, dude. Sweet. You know what, pal? You're getting a subscribe right now. Yeah, I've watched a bunch of your stuff. It was one of those things I end up rabbit holing it because it was just on the suggested thing, and then I was just like, God, this is amazing. Like, you're really, really good at it. I'm sure you know that because you have a bunch of video evidence, but I really wish that I was as good at scamming the scammers. Damn. What a G. And you wear our hoodie all the time. Oh, what a sweetheart, man. You're doing the Lord's work, by the way. Thank you for wasting those fucking assholes' time, man. Like, really, that's amazing stuff. And he also gifted subs. Wow, dude, that's fucking awesome. I'm not meeting you officially now, but where do you live? You know, you get permanent guest list to whatever Periphery show, and we'll hang out next time. You know, once you're allowed to hang out with people again, you know, because that's not a thing right now. Oh, and Travis KTL donated. Here's money for a new car because you need more. Enoch agreed that you should get a manual E92. I'll get a DCT version. Let's VF supercharge them. Okay, so here's the thing. Enoch's one of my best friends, and he's my car buddy. Is Travis? That's Travis Montgomery, KTL. Okay, so then Travis is good buddy too. Here's the thing, Travis. So for the price of a VF supercharger, one could get a Civic Type R, and I kind of think I want a Civic Type R. And Enoch will probably stop being friends with me because he thinks that front-wheel drive cars are, you know, basically a crime. So, and I think generally I'm not a big fan of front-wheel drive cars, but that Civic Type R is sick, man, and it holds value well, and it's a lot of fun, and it's got crazy grip, and it's really nice as a daily, and it's a great manual. It's like, I think I might do that. And manual E92s, man, those transmissions are... It's like, just maybe get the DCT. That BMW manual... I just don't get along with BMW manual transmissions. Maybe there's a way to fix them to make them less, like, rubbery and weird, but, like, just not a huge fan of manual BMWs. I don't know if you guys agree. Think you mean wrong wheel drive. You see? There you go. Did we find out where Kit Boga is from? Is he not gonna tell us? You don't have to tell me, but you know, just hit me up on Instagram or whatever if you ever want to come out to a show or come hang out, and we'll hang out. I'll buy you dinner or something for all your hard work. Lefty Juggernaut donated, says, yes, I ordered it, but I was only 19 at the time, and while I could have paid 2.5K like a normal one cost, it was really hard to pay 6K. Yeah, 6K is what the custom shop would be. Also, I'm the same person as Ollie Sykes fanboy, just changed my name on accident. Yeah, I prefer Lefty Juggernaut to Ollie Sykes fanboy, but that's just because I'm biased, not because that's objectively a better name. Oh, you just DM me on Twitter? Sweet. We'll get in touch there. It's very nice to halfway meet you. And keep doing those videos, man. They're fucking amazing. Like, I can't believe them. They make me very happy. And I'm sure they make a lot of people very happy too, because you get like 1 billion views. Can't decide between Juggernauts or Ragnaroks for your old HF2. What you think? So much mojo in this thing. Okay. Oh, you have my old. Oh, okay. You have my old. You're the guy I sold it to. Okay, Joe Rona. That makes sense. Only if I keep making music. You got yourself a deal, buddy. That's I appreciate that. Joe Rona. Actually, I think Juggernauts might suit that guitar better. So Juggernauts are jacks of all trade. Very precise, very sort of clean sounding, very dynamic. If you do not have a heavy right hand, or you don't really care for picking hard, maybe the Ragnaroks. But if you like to dig into a guitar and have a lot of dynamics, versatility, that I could see the Juggernauts having a slight edge in that guitar. I like the Ragnaroks because they're in your face, they're aggressive, they sort of like compress really nicely. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, if you guys can't see, there is a Ragnarok in this. It is a... Yeah, I realize the way this is covered up, it looks like this is just, like a regular Strat. But when you can see that it says Jackson on the headstock, this is a hot-rodded beast right here, you know? But, yeah. So, the single coils are pretty... They're just matched EQ-wise. They're these custom ones that Tim at Bare Knuckle put together for me. They kind of match it well. If we ever did a run, I'd probably put that out as a set. I don't think it's an existing thing, or maybe it is and he hasn't told me. But if you had something similar, you wanted to go for something similar, I'm sure he could set you up. He's a good dude. Would we ever do a tour with a Contortionist? And if you have, would you do it again? Jesus Christ. Contortionists are probably one of those bands that we've toured with the most at this point, right? Not even checking here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to. Sorry, YouTube. I am focusing a little more on Twitch. I'm trying to be partner. Yeah, we've toured with them a bunch. They're one of my favorite bands to tour with. So, what you guys may not realize is when we tour. And when you're picking bands, you know, we headline a lot now. So we pick bands that we want to tour with, and we reach out. It's very complicated and annoying. But sometimes we get to tour with the bands that we want to tour with. I mean, we always like the bands that we want to tour with, but there's 3 criteria that I use for bands. And then every now and then you get a band that just hits all 3 perfectly. You want ones, and probably in order of importance. You want like guys that you get along with. That is seriously the most important thing. Second, you want them to be good live. Maybe 1 and 2, those 2 are like kind of the most important things. And then 3, you know, if you like their music, that's a great perk. But those first 2 are the most important, because there's bands whose, you know, music I didn't like that much, but then live they just crush it. And it's undeniable. And if they're great people, that's so important, because you're on the road with them. Like, if you tour with great people, then you just have the best time. And I would do that over, I would always pick that over a band I like, where we don't get along as well, or they're not kind of as good live, you know, not putting on a great show. But Contortionist is all three. So we always, submit them for every tour, and our manager is just like, you can't have Contortionist on every tour, So, and there's a bunch of bands that we submit for every tour, like Tesseract. We've been trying to get those guys to tour with us forever. I love those dudes. They also fit all three. Their music's awesome, awesome dudes. Incredible live band, So, it's, it's not every band fills all three categories, but the most important are that they're good live and that they're good people. So what's the old tour title? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That was a parody of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Get it? Peter reached out this week. Thanks for the help. Check out AP Montoya. Decent prices these days. Let's see how much the AP Montoya, like Juan Pablo Montoya. Rose gold and bros gold. It's a little too blingy for me. If I'm on, like APs have to be a little more classy, and this is way more than I can afford. Yeah, I just can't justify spending that much on a watch now, ever. I don't know. It'd be great to be able to justify that, but it's just very tough, Is Mark's guitar good? Think of getting one? Absolutely. It's probably one of the best PRSs because, Jake, Mark, and I like a lot of the same stuff. So we've kind of gone to our companies and gotten similar guitars. The one thing for me about PRS is that, at least when you're sitting with them, the bridge is so high up on the body that it ends up feeling almost like a baritone. And most PRSs are 25-inch scale, and his is 25.5. So at least when you're sitting, it puts a lot of it. When you're standing, it's about the same, really. So, whoa, we have like a whole bunch of cheers. Okay, could someone teach me what that means? I'm still learning. When I'm streaming, am I Misha from Periphery or Misha from GGD or Misha from Horizon Devices? The truth is, I'm all of them. And Misha from 3 Dot, yeah, all of them at once, and we're all fighting. We don't get along. Oh, here, one second. I'm getting a phone call. Hey, I'm in the middle of a stream. Is this important? Because you're on the stream right now. No, I do not see what's going on outside. Uh-oh. Okay, I will stay indoors. I will remain indoors and turn on the news as soon as I'm done with this. Okay, sounds good. All right. Bye. Anyways, that was one of the exes telling me to be careful. See, they're very sweet girls, the exes. I like them. Anyways, check out the stainless carbon AP. Stainless carbon AP. Now we're in watch mode, watch and car mode. So, oh wow. All right, we're getting alerts now. Ooh. You know what? While I look at watches, you guys should be listening to music. That's what I've decided. Should I preview something? Should I show you guys something that you're not supposed to hear yet? What do I show you? I could show you guys. I was thinking about opening the solo album with this one. I might tweak a couple things. I'd say this one's mostly there. You guys want to hear that? Get a little exclusive preview. I like sharing my music. I like people hearing my music. This whole process of waiting and putting it together and all that. And fun fact, I used the Teufel for this one. And my Echoplex. I was thinking about doing like a stream where I actually like get all my tape echoes and kind of show you what I like so much about my tape echoes. And maybe like get the Strymon Volanti. But yeah. This one's a interesting vibe. I may add a lead somewhere. I think it might need a lead somewhere, but we'll see. This is a bit of an older idea. All right, we can sign off on that. So yeah, that's a little thing I'm working on. It's a little bit of fun. Just a little bit of fun. Might open it up. It's like all about like using space. I feel like a lot of stuff I used to be a little bit too schizophrenic with and just kind of go from idea to idea. And it's kind of fun to like let something build. Find something where you can actually let it build and it doesn't get old. So hopefully you guys like it. And even if you don't, it's gonna be on the solo album. So whatever. Am I safe there? I'm still alive. Hopefully you guys stay safe. It looks like things are ramping up and getting kind of crazy. So I'm going to end this stream now and find out what the hell is going on. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. As always, you guys are absolute sweethearts. And I appreciate everything. Oh, I do see one last donation here in question. We'll answer that and then we'll get out. Pros and cons on Aristides guitars. They make the 060 Lefty one. I'm highly considering one. Want to get your full thoughts. My full thoughts. Let me tell you one thing. Okay, it's my hot take. I'm gonna give you a hot take. Not on Aristides. I'll give you the Aristides take after. I've never understood left-handed guitars. These are two completely arbitrary motions, of which the more dexterous of the two is the left-handed one. So arguably, this should be the left-handed guitar because this motion, right, is not as hard as, you know, the fine detail that it takes for all the fretting and everything. So I'd actually argue that as a left-handed guitarist, you'd probably have an easier time learning to play right-handed guitar. And I know this, like, proof positive is the fact that a lot of left-handed, I'm pretty sure John Brown's left-handed, Marco Kubo's left-handed. I know a lot of really good left-handed guitarists who play righty. Now, I know that's probably not an answer because you have to start from scratch, but yeah, it's tough. Left-handed guitars are tough. Aristides guitars, they're great. Great company, love those dudes. The guitars have a very particular sound, but because of their process, because of the fact that pretty much they have no wood out on them at all, they're built like out of this man-made material, arium, in a mold. They're very consistent. So you, unlike wood, you know exactly what you're gonna get. That sound is not for everybody. It's a heavy guitar, and I like lighter guitars that have a bit more resonance, a bit more spanky. I have one that I really like. But I would say you'll either love them or hate them. I don't know that you would hate them, but it might just not be your thing. Objectively, they're incredibly well built, and you will get a quality instrument. But you know, if you're unsure, maybe watch some demos or see if you can get your hands on one. The good news is if you can get your hands on one, you like it, you pretty much know exactly what you're going to get, because there's a lot less variance from those guitars than say regular wood guitars. So yeah. Anyways, with that, I will leave you guys now. I hope you guys all stay very safe. Take care of yourselves. It seems like things are getting a little bit crazy in certain places. So yeah, just be safe, be smart, and I will catch you guys soon.